These are our fellow Chicagoans. They're our neighbors, family members who've lost their lives. These are 19 families whose lives are forever altered. And 19 families who woke up this morning without a son, without a daughter, without a mother, without a father, without an aunt, without an uncle. Over 100 people whose lives will never be the same, whose next chapter in life is recovery and healing from this violence. These 100 people are members of families and communities, numbering in the thousands, who are also feeling the devastation and the impact of the incessant violence in the city of Chicago. I know all too well how this shows up, as I've often encountered the trauma in my classroom with my former students after a violent and horrific weekend. As a father raising a family on the west side of Chicago, this violence we are seeing, it's very close to home. This violence plaguing our community, it is deeply personal. This is not about just simply tallying our pain. This violence that happened this weekend did not happen in a vacuum, however. No, it didn't. We are standing here today talking about a violent weekend because of generations of disinvestment and deep disenfranchisement in the exact communities where so much of the violence is taking place. But we are here to say emphatically that this is enough. It's enough. When this reckless violence ravages across our city at this magnitude, we are losing a piece of the soul of Chicago. And it deeply pains me to admit that, but it is true. But I will not stand idly by. We will not be passive in this moment. We need to ensure that we are holding every single individual accountable for the pain and trauma and the torment that they have caused in this city. And there will be consequences. There will be consequences for the violence. We will not let criminal activity ruin and harm our city. And I know that our Chicago Police Department is working nonstop to catch those who have committed these heinous crimes. We also need to double down on our efforts to get guns off our streets. When a 16-year-old has access to an AK-47, the violence began well before that weapon reached the hands of young people across this city and across this country. And right now, our streets are filled with illegal guns. It is far too easy in Chicago to go out and get an illegal gun. This has to change. And I know our federal partners at the Crime Gun Information Center will continue to work hand in glove with the Chicago Police Department to track crime guns and hold people who are choosing to wreak havoc on my streets accountable. And finally, I want to announce that I have personally taken steps to ensure that our city is getting all of the resources that it needs from the federal government. And prior to this weekend, my administration took the necessary steps to prepare for what has been historically violent weekends by making sure